Have you ever noticed subtle changes in yourself or a loved one that make you pause and wonder, is this just part of aging, or is it something more? It's a question many of us think about but don't always know how to answer. As we grow older, our bodies and minds go through shifts that can sometimes signal bigger changes on the horizon. And while no one has a crystal ball, there are certain signs, often quiet and easy to overlook, that may indicate an elderly person is nearing the end of their life. Today, we're going to talk about 5 of these signs, not to alarm you, but to help you recognize them with compassion and understanding. Knowing what to look for can give you the chance to prepare emotionally, spend meaningful time with your loved ones, and ensure they're as comfortable as possible during this stage of life. Whether you're caring for a spouse, a parent, or even thinking about your own journey, this conversation is important. In this video, we'll walk through each of these signs together, and I'll share practical advice on how to respond if you notice them. Let's start with the first one, because recognizing it early can make all the difference. The first sign is a noticeable decline in appetite. You might have seen this happen. Your loved one starts eating less, skipping meals, or showing little interest in food they used to enjoy. At first, it might seem like they're just losing their taste for certain dishes, but there's often more to it than that. As the body begins to wind down, its need for energy decreases, and eating becomes less of a priority. This change can be gradual, so it's easy to dismiss at first. But if you notice someone consistently pushing food away or saying they feel full after just a few bites, it could be a sign that their body is preparing for the final chapter. If this happens, it's important not to force them to eat. Instead, focus on offering small, nutrient-rich snacks or liquids like smoothies, soups, or tea. These can be easier to manage and provide comfort without overwhelming them. The goal isn't to reverse the decline but to ensure they stay hydrated and nourished in a way that feels gentle and supportive. Remember, this is about quality of life, not quantity of food. Now, let's move on to the second sign, increased fatigue and a desire to sleep more. Have you ever noticed someone who used to be active and engaged suddenly spending most of their day resting or dozing off? It's not uncommon for elderly individuals in their final year to feel an overwhelming need for rest. Their body is working hard, even if it doesn't seem like it from the outside, and sleep becomes a way to conserve energy. You might find them napping frequently or sleeping longer at night, and waking up feeling just as tired as when they went to bed. This isn't laziness. It's their body's way of signaling that it needs extra rest. If you see this happening, try to create a calm and peaceful environment for them. Encourage short periods of activity if they're up to it, but don't push too hard. Sometimes, simply sitting outside in the fresh air or listening to soft music can bring a sense of peace without requiring much effort. Finally, let's talk about the third sign, withdrawal from social interactions and activities. Maybe you've noticed that someone who used to love chatting with friends or attending family gatherings now prefers to stay in their room or sit quietly by themselves. This withdrawal can be heartbreaking to witness, but it's a natural part of the process for many people nearing the end of life. They may begin to lose interest in hobbies, conversations, or events that once brought them joy. This shift often happens because their focus turns inward as they reflect on their life and prepare for what's ahead. It's not that they don't care about the people around them, they still do, but their priorities and energy levels are changing. If you notice this happening, don't take it personally. Instead, offer your presence without demanding interaction. Sit with them, hold their hand, or simply be nearby. Sometimes, knowing you're there is enough to bring comfort, even if they don't say much. As we continue, we'll explore 2 more signs that can provide insight into this delicate stage of life. These include changes in behavior or mood and physical symptoms that may arise. Each one offers an opportunity to approach this time with empathy and care, ensuring that both you and your loved one feel supported. So let's keep going, together. Let's talk about the 4th sign, which can be one of the most emotionally challenging to navigate: noticeable changes in behavior or mood. You might find that someone who was once cheerful and easygoing has become more irritable, withdrawn, or even confused. Or perhaps they've started saying things that seem out of character, like expressing a longing to go home even when they're already there. These shifts can feel unsettling, especially if you're used to their usual demeanor, but they're often a reflection of what's happening internally as they approach the end of life. For example, confusion or disorientation can sometimes stem from physical changes in the brain or body, while emotional responses like sadness or frustration may arise as they process their own mortality. It's also common for elderly individuals to speak about loved ones who have passed away as if they're still present, or to express a desire to reunite with them. While these moments can be difficult to witness, they're part of the natural process of transitioning. If you notice these changes, try to respond with patience and understanding. Instead of correcting them or dismissing their feelings, acknowledge their emotions and let them know it's okay to feel this way. A simple, "I'm here with you," or "tell me more about that," can open the door to meaningful connection without judgment. Now, let's move on to the fifth sign, the emergence of physical symptoms that signal the body is slowing down. These can vary from person to person, but some common ones include difficulty breathing, changes in skin color or temperature, and reduced mobility. For instance, you might notice that their hands or feet feel cooler to the touch, or that their skin takes on a pale or bluish tint. This happens because circulation naturally slows as the body begins to shut down, prioritizing vital organs over extremities. Breathing patterns may also change. They might breathe rapidly for a while, then pause for several seconds before starting again. These symptoms can understandably cause concern, but it's important to remember that they're a normal part of the dying process. What you can do is focus on keeping them comfortable. Adjust their position gently if they seem restless, use blankets to keep them warm, and ensure the room is peaceful and free of unnecessary noise. If they're experiencing labored breathing, a cool mist humidifier or soft music can sometimes help soothe them. The goal here isn't to fix anything but to create an environment where they can rest peacefully. While these physical signs can feel overwhelming to observe, it's crucial to approach them with compassion rather than fear. They're not a reflection of your care or love, they're simply the body's way of preparing for the inevitable. By staying calm and attentive, you can provide immeasurable comfort during this time. As we think about these signs together, it's worth noting that no two journeys are exactly alike. Some people may experience all 5 of these signs, while others might only show 1 or 2. And that's okay. What matters most is how you respond with kindness and presence. Every moment you spend offering support, whether through a gentle touch, a shared memory, or simply sitting quietly by their side, leaves a lasting impact, not just on them, but on you as well. Before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to emphasize something important. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean giving up hope or resigning yourself to loss. Rather, it's about being proactive in providing the best possible care and making the most of the time you have left together. Whether it's reminiscing about happy memories, sharing laughter over old stories, or simply holding hands in silence, these small acts of love can bring profound meaning to both your lives. In the next part, we'll tie everything together by revisiting the key lessons we've discussed so far and offering some final thoughts on how to approach this stage of life with grace and gratitude. We'll also talk about practical ways to seek support for yourself during this emotionally taxing time, because caring for someone at the end of life can take a toll on your own well-being too. So stick around, we're almost there. As we bring this conversation to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the signs we've discussed and what they mean for you and your loved ones. Recognizing these subtle warnings, like a decline in appetite, increased fatigue, withdrawal from social interactions, changes in mood or behavior, and physical symptoms, isn't about dwelling on loss. Instead, it's about understanding and preparing for a natural part of life with empathy and grace. These signs remind us that the journey toward the end of life is deeply personal, and each person experiences it in their own way. One thing I want to emphasize is the importance of focusing on comfort over cure during this time. When someone is nearing the end of their life, medical interventions often take a backseat to creating moments of peace and connection. This might mean prioritizing pain management, ensuring they're surrounded by familiar things, or simply being present without expecting anything in return. For instance, playing their favorite song, bringing in fresh flowers, or sharing old photos can evoke feelings of joy and nostalgia. These small gestures may seem simple, but they carry immense weight in making someone feel loved and valued. Another crucial aspect of this stage is taking care of yourself as a caregiver. It's easy to pour all your energy into supporting your loved one, but neglecting your own needs can leave you feeling overwhelmed and emotionally drained. If you find yourself struggling, don't hesitate to reach out for help. Talk to friends, family members, or even professional counselors who specialize in end-of-life care. Support groups, whether in person or online, can also be incredibly comforting. They connect you with others who truly understand what you're going through. Remember, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's an act of strength that allows you to show up fully for the person you're caring for. Now, let's revisit the key lessons we've covered today. First, a decline in appetite and increased fatigue are common as the body begins to slow down. Responding with patience and offering small comforts, like nutrient-rich snacks or restful environments, can make a world of difference. Second, withdrawal from social activities and changes in mood or behavior are natural parts of this transition. Instead of trying to fix these shifts, focus on providing companionship and reassurance. Finally, physical symptoms like changes in breathing or skin color signal that the body is preparing for its final chapter. By staying calm and attentive, you can ensure your loved one feels safe and cared for. If there's one takeaway I hope you'll remember, it's this: the end of life is not just about saying goodbye, it's also about cherishing the moments you have left together. Whether it's holding hands, sharing laughter, or sitting quietly side by side, these acts of love create lasting memories that will stay with you long after your loved one has passed. You don't need grand gestures to make a meaningful impact. Sometimes, the simplest expressions of care leave the deepest imprint. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these signs in a loved one, or do you have advice for others in navigating this challenging time? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and I know others would benefit from hearing your perspective too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content designed to support you through this stage of life. Here's the truth: aging and end-of-life care come with their share of challenges, but they also offer opportunities for growth, reflection, and connection. No matter where you are in your journey, remember that you're not alone. There's a community of people who care deeply about helping you navigate these moments with dignity and compassion. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and here's to honoring the incredible lives we've shared and continue to share.